Welcome to the podcast. We talk about all the things that are hidden in the shadows. This is Isaac.
And this is Megan.
And on this episode, we talk about one of the most haunted houses in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spooky.
I don't know why I felt like I need to drag that out. But first, we have a haunted update for you.
Yeah.
This makes 2 of 2.
2 of 2.
Mind you. I know I spoke about Barry in his case. We did almost a month now ago.
Really? Was it longer?
Feels like it. It was the beginning of July.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was before then. Yeah. It's been a while.
Okay.
Anyway. We spoke about the case we did with Barry, about, helping him out through the phone and all the theories behind that and stuff like what we talked about. But we actually had another case.
Yeah.
With a lady named Mariah.
Yeah, she, funny enough, is a listener of the podcast. So, hey, how's it going?
Kind of have to listen to know what we can do.
Yeah, I guess so. But she had reached out because she was talking about seeing some shadow figures. And for me, I immediately got that she had some sort of abilities. And I know with me, that kind of started out like that, as seeing shadow people. So I asked her about it and we got talking and stuff like that. And it got to a point where she was seeing this shadow figure and it just didn't have a good vibe to it. It was just, she felt kind of uneasy about it. So that's when I, extended the offer to her, about what Isaac and I could do. And, obviously she had heard it on the podcast. And I had said, we'd be more than willing to help you. Isaac's pulled remotely before. We could try it and see if that helps anything. And so Isaac did the first pull, which he did get something. He did get like the main shadow figure, which that's what I'm noticing with the cases. It's almost like the first pull is the thing that's causing like danger right now. And then the second pull is like cleanup. So.
Well, unlike Barry's case, just Barry spoke to us anyway. What the difference between Barry's case and hers was that Barry's had one initial institute that I took, but there was more behind it. Mm-hmm. Including a Cheshire grinned face demon,
black amoeba thing. Yeah.
But he had a portal,
mm-hmm.
right? He had a portal that started underneath his apartment that was traveling, going up and down, almost like describe it like a cylinder, but just a straight up and down portal underneath his bed, mind you, of all places.
Yeah.
And it was very strong and very hard, which told me there's a dirty joke in there somewhere. That it was purposely put there,
mm-hmm.
right? This is what I'm figuring out, because Mariah also had a portal in her place. Like I said, 2 of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Twice, second person we help out via remote pulling and stuff like that also has a portal in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know this is a continuous trend. Maybe the next person we help out doesn't have it, so I don't know. But it just seems to be, so far, the situation. Now, Mariah's portal wasn't as strong. Mm-hmm. It was easier to take, easier to pull, easier to close.
Mm-hmm.
Still not without difficulty, but far, far more easier than Barry's.
Mm-hmm.
Which tells me that it felt like Barry's portal was meant to be there, like it's purposely put there.
Yeah.
Mariah's didn't feel like it was supposed to be.
And
there.
the thing behind it is
or like it was accidentally put there.
Yeah. Her is it boyfriend?
Yeah.
Boyfriend.
All right.
But her boyfriend basically was not having a good time sleeping. Like, was not getting rest, was constantly like yelling in his sleep.
Screaming in his sleep.
Screaming.
That's how she described it.
Yeah, screaming. And so when I kind of like started focusing on him, I basically saw the portal above his bed, and for whatever reason, obviously it must be, the idea that, when you dream or you go on the astral plane, you leave your body essentially, so that leaves it open for anything to kind of like mess mess with you, come in, that kind of thing. And so I feel like he almost was like fighting for his vessel. That makes sense. Especially what he was saying. So then that made me lead to Portal, which then gave me like kind of like a vision of this thing above his bed, like circling. And that's when I brought it up to Mariah, and I was like, hey, I see this portal. Do you think, do you want Isaac to pull again? He could try and close it. He's done it before. And so she was like, yeah. And sure enough, when Isaac went to pull, it was right there. He had her basically lay her
on his side of the bed.
Yeah. And look up, and that's where the portal was, and he pulled it. And ever since then, he has not been yelling in his sleep or screaming. They've been having peaceful night rest. No bad feelings. Obviously, she has abilities that she's still working with, so things will come and go. But for the most part, everything's good.
Yes, and same goes for Barry. But I'll probably bring. Well, I haven't asked him yet, but
yeah,
if he's hearing this, he's probably going to call us back. I'll try to answer him before I listen to the episode. I want to try to bring him on for a bonus episode of me discussing his situation. Almost like a testimonial, you would say, firsthand. And just basically discuss his situation, his case, and how he was before and how he was after, what he experienced, stuff like that. Probably later on bring Mariah on, talk about her case, situation afterwards, and so forth. I don't see it keep a trend going, but if more people hear from firsthand from people that are not us, essentially, of what we can do and what we've done for them, then there might be more people out there that are hesitant to ask for our help, or at least think we're frauds or whatever. That will come and ask us, because believe me, one of the things that I love to do the most is ensure that these things, dark entities, are not out there tormenting people. And if I can take as much as I can, then I will.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was her case, what we did for her. So yeah, 2 out of 2 people who contacted us, both dealing in dark entities, both had portals, both portals I had to close. So who knows what the next one's going to be.
Yeah.
But that was our haunted update.
Yeah.
As for today's episode, speaking of portals and darkness, we are talking about the Sallie House.
The Sallie House.
Now, there is some history we're going to talk about and where it's got to. Some hauntings. What we've found out and been told, stories, and sometimes even theories that we'll put it safe to the end to talk about. When he talked about it with me, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. But
yeah, this one, put it to you this way, I had to limit my time with researching this. Sorry, I had a little bit of a bat a couple days ago with my coughing coming back, so that's why this episode is late as well. But yeah. So I channeled pretty hard when I was researching this, like not on purpose either. And I don't know, I still don't understand why I do this. And it was like I almost remote viewed. And it's weird because I've said it in previous podcasts, like I don't agree. Not agree, that's not the word, but I've heard warnings before from other psychics that say don't remote view a place that you've never been. And for the longest time I was dealing with that, or doing that. But yeah, so this one made me channel very hard, and I still I don't know how to stop this. So I'm hoping the next couple episodes that we have I don't have to channel. So but it also helped me kind of gather my own theory about the Sallie House. And when I did the research, the Sallie House is actually pretty easy to get into to investigate. You pay a certain amount. The only thing they ask, which I have questions about, because if you're a psychic and you go to this location, because one of their rules is you cannot cleanse, right? And I'm wondering if they're talking about going in there with sage and cleansing, or using your abilities to move spirits on cleansing. Or your ability, I know, but I want to know that, because it's not like they could sue you, but they could do, I don't know what they would do. But
you can't really sue people, since the spiritual spirits and ghosts themselves cannot be used in a court of law.
Yeah. So I don't really know what that is. I mean, are they, like I said, are they talking? Because any psychic that goes to a location and helps people cross over or cross or move on or whatever, technically that's a type of cleansing.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, what we do is kind of a
yeah, but there's a lot of other paranormal teams that have psychics or have like shamanistic type people that will cleanse a space out that's negative. So I'm wondering, I don't know, but that's just a thought. So I don't even know if we could go to Sallie House. I kind of want to. I know, but I don't know. I don't know. So the Sallie House was built in 1890 in Atchison, Kansas, which I hope I'm saying that right. I suck at names, I'm telling you.
you suck at reading.
Yeah. Atchison, Kansas.
Someone in Kansas going, it's like this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's actually, believe it or not, that city is technically known as like, and it's charted on multiple different like articles and websites and stuff as one of the most haunted cities in America.
I feel like every city wants to be called that.
Yeah. I don't know. But so the backstory about this house is that the house belonged to a doctor named Dr. Charles Finney, and he practiced medicine from the home. Basically, his family lived on the second floor and used the bottom for surgery and examination. There was a situation where a young girl was, there's a couple different stories, but this is the main one that like everyone kind of tells. Is that a mother brought her young girl to the doctor late one night because she was complaining of severe abdominal pain. So they brought her in, and he checked it out and thought it was appendicitis. But so the doctor thought it was appendicitis, and that her spleen or appendix, sorry, why did I say spleen? Don't know. Her appendix was going to rupture. So he actually started cutting her before the anesthesia came through. And she was in so much pain and screaming and all of that. And basically she died on the table. So this girl, died on the table in extreme pain. Because, could you imagine somebody cutting you open and ugh.
I mean, I've had surgery, but I don't remember any of it.
And that's who they think is haunting this. Well, one of the theories is that this little girl named Sallie. That's what they.
So what was the Sallie House called before the Sallie House?
It wasn't. It was just a house.
Oh.
Like it didn't get as famous as it was until the 90s. And this is also where my theory is going to play into play. Apparently though, I think a psychic actually was the one to pick up on the name. And that's when it became the Sallie House. Because this wasn't a huge thing until the 90s when Tony and Debra Pickman, I think, moved in. And he was the one that started, like, basically, there had been previous tenants, but I guess, like, the more sinister stuff happened when Tony came in. And Tony was pretty religious and kind of just didn't really believe in the stuff. And Tony was also the one that kind of wanted like nothing to do with it, like just leave it alone, let it be. He had like severe scratches on him, and he would hear like scratches in the wall.
It's the rats.
Weird noises and stuff like that. But this is the thing that's creepy, and this also plays into my theory, and it's blowing my mind the more I read back on the stuff.
Like a typical horror movie dad.
Yeah. One theory was that because he was the first male, and that's another weird thing. Like apparently from the time the Finney family, which was the doctor, all the way until Tony moved in, he was the only male that lived in there. Well, and they want to say that Sallie is the one doing the darker stuff. And apparently there's one of the psychics did pick up of another middle-aged woman, and they were saying that it could possibly be the mom, right?
Well, the place has been known for not liking males.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they blame it on Sallie, but I don't really think
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. But apparently in the basement, there is a burned pentagram. That's another thing. Apparently, when you look at the specific stories, I didn't really find anything. I didn't watch the full documentary through, so I don't know if they mention it. But there was a team that went in there because there was all sorts of teams that kind of went in there and did their own little like research. People that, you know, are for the paranormal and do like regular investigations. And then there was also people that don't do investigations regularly, but know it's like one of the darker houses. So they, you know, like the YouTuber, I always talk about it, the YouTubers that like are like
YouTube ghost hunters.
no, they're not even YouTube ghost hunters. They're YouTuber like bros. Is what I could, you know what I'm talking about? Like the guys that all live in the one house and they go do stupid stuff.
Yes.
Or they go experience stuff and they have like over 1 million followers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That group. I don't know. There's a group. I think. Oh yeah, Sam and Cody is what they're called or something like that. But there was a group before.
Is that a Disney show?
It could have been. I don't know. But they went and apparently it was really bad. And then the guy from the Haunted Files went and he said that's the thing is a lot of these paranormal investigators or even like the groups that go there investigating do not want to go back. Like it's not like they go to the house and they go like, oh, it's not that bad, you know, it's not that bad. They like get really intense evidence. And I think the one guy from the Sam and Cody sat on the pentagram, like sat in the basement.
Stupid.
Yeah, and did that. But
in your research, did you see the picture?
What picture of the pentagram?
No, the infamous picture of the Sallie House.
Which one?
Someone took a picture from the outside of the house on the second floor, and there was a demon standing in the window.
That plays into my theory. Oh, I think I know which one it is now. I didn't see it when I was researching because I kept seeing videos about demon caught on camera, but I didn't really.
Yeah, there's a picture, a very like one of those like famous haunted pictures.
I remember you showing me.
Yeah, it's like of the second floor, and the demon standing in the window.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is it in the nursery?
Wait for your theory at the end.
I know. I'm so because I'm like, it makes sense.
People are like, what?
It makes sense. It makes sense. So, yeah, like I said, Tony had a lot of stuff happen to him. He had attacks. They heard unexplained voices, burnt finger marks upon mysteriously burning candles. And then, okay, so when the Kansas Paranormal Group went in and investigated, the one psychic believed that the middle-aged woman was behind the attacks, that there was a middle-aged woman. This also is explained in my theory at the end. Because they want to say it's the mom. I don't think it's the mom.
You're terrible with your theories. I wanted to get to it so
I know, okay. So again, a lot of the males that go there get scratched really bad. Okay, so there was an article in Only in Your State that covered the Sallie House. Everywhere pretty much that does any kind of paranormal topics has covered the Sallie House just because of how infamous it is. I think during researching, I didn't find anybody that said, oh, it's nothing. Like, it's nothing. Like, no. Everybody that went there was like, it's an experience. It's an experience. So, this one person said that they went to the Sallie House when a friend lived there and the curtains caught on fire. This other person said they've been scratched at the Sallie House, which is very common, you know. Another person said, now this is the thing that I think of, and it plays into my theory at the end. I keep saying that, but it's true. This person said went to the Sallie House, never had anything bad happen physically, but got very interesting photos. And I wish that they would have the dates at which this person went to the Sallie House, because I think there was a shift in something because of somebody along the way. I don't think this house was always like that. That's my opinion. I don't think.
Well, no house is ever haunted as it starts. It has to take immense amount of dark energy or tragicness or consistent death to make it haunted.
Yeah. So I thought this was interesting too. Apparently, Debra Pickman wrote a book that was published July 12th, 2009 about the case, and about like what she experienced when she stayed there. There was a guy that reviewed it that I thought his comment was interesting. He was saying basically that a lot was left out in the book and that she was on the show called Paranormal Witness. She gave him the impression that she didn't believe Sallie was haunting here, but a harpy creature, whatever that is. I don't know what that is.
It's fae folk.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Harpies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
How do I know that?
Because I'm not into the fae as much.
Nor am I, but it pops up
like,
every now and then.
Yeah. Anyways, he goes on to say that the book was written in 2010 and the episode was 2013. Idea could have changed, but he says Debra Pickman mentions the harpy at the beginning of the book and Tony Pickman mentions it at the end. So I didn't know this either until I read the actual review. Because, you know, you have to kind of read the book to get this. But apparently one of their cats got caught in the dryer and killed.
Eesh.
Apparently Tony said he started losing his mind and that another cat was killed in the kitchen. They also said electronic toys would go off. And if you ever want to check out that Paranormal Witness episode, it's called The Harpy and it's season 3, episode 18. So.
And again, I remember I played more video games in the mystical world than you have. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the thing. Okay, so you know Chris Jericho even talked about the Sallie House on Talk It with Jericho? The random fact.
With who?
I don't know who the other 2 people were, but because he's very skeptical. They were trashing mediums at the beginning of the thing. They were like, when you send a medium in, that's when you know things get messed up and escalated, and that's not true. I mean, because a medium is going to see what they want hidden, the darker entity, if it's there, hidden. And then obviously, if a light spirit needs help crossing or needs help in any way, of course it's going to come forward, so the activity might stir up a bit. But yeah, they were saying that this house, you know, they're kind of skeptical on a lot of things, but they were saying this house is intense.
You just bring that up because I'm a pro wrestling fan.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is the thing that was but this is what I thought was odd. So when they started kind of getting the idea that but this is the thing, is that Tony was kind of like, don't mess with it, leave it alone, let's just see what happens, like, leave it. But Debra actually would even, because Debra fully believed that Sallie was a little girl that was trapped there that died a horrible death. And so she actually would buy it, the girl stuff, like the doll. She basically gave her a doll, and what happened, Belief Hole, I think, covered this story on one of their expansion clips on YouTube. And basically she brought her a doll because she thought she was doing good. They put the box in the nursery. And they left. They heard the box move across, and the box was moved in a different position. So, yeah. So, right there you have her giving offerings to it. So,
giving offerings to what?
Sallie, apparently. But
at least something portraying itself. You all right?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I'm not supposed to be talking about this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Like I
was saying, something portraying itself as Sallie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, this is, I don't know if he still listens or not. This is Charlie from Believing in Bizarre's worst fucking nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
There's little girl gross that are not little girl gross, but they're actually demons hiding themselves as them. And he always talks about that's the one thing he's fucking scared of.
Mm-hmm.
But this situation would be the same.
Okay. You ready for my theory?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to say what happened when I first channeled in. So, like I said, I did not mean to channel in. I was just researching. No, I didn't even see anything at this point. I was just researching um like like articles, not actual video footage. And all of a sudden, I am walking through a door and I see a staircase, right? And I hear what sounds like somebody falling down the stairs. But this thing is running from the nursery onto the top of the stairs. And I just see this big black thing at the top of the stairs. But it won't let me see what it is. It won't let me see how it's portraying. It won't let me see like what it is. I just know it's up there. Because it only lets me see a portion of the steps, but I know it's above the steps. But it literally, when it was running, it was like I was there and it was pissed off I was there. That I was even remote viewing in, that I was channeling, that was whatever. And when it was running, I knew it was running, but when it was running, it sounded like somebody falling down the stairs. And so I immediately got out of there. I was like, yeah, no, this is not, what are you doing? Stop. And it literally took me a couple weeks to fully research this thing because of this. Because I was like, no, I don't want to go back into that. I don't want to I don't even know if it's even possible to bring something here if I remote view and channel in somewhere else. So I don't know if that's even possible. But so that was the first channel in. The second channel in, I saw this woman with no eyes. No eyes. Like hollowed out eyes. Right?
Mm.
And so I was like, all right, that's not the little girl. And I just saw her walking. Because at that point, after I saw these stairs, which freaked me out, by the way, because I have never seen what the inside of the Sallie House looked like up until that point when I was researching. It was just articles. I saw the outside, but not the actual inside. And when I saw the inside, I was like, crap on a stick. I saw like the actual like stairway into the Sallie House. You know, the stairs as soon as you walk in, those long stairs. And so I was watching a portion of, I believe it was the Sam and Cody part.
Mm-hmm.
And they started talking about the basement and the satanic stuff that went on there. Now, I tried finding articles on the satanic part of like why the pentagram was there. There's a pentagram there, but why is it there? Who put it there? You know, somebody had to do something, right? And they started talking about, apparently there was like satanic stuff that occurred there, but there wasn't much on like when, why, who, you know? So, but they did say that there was like a rumor or a story about how a satanic woman, right? The lady apparently that's doing the stuff in the basement fell to her death by falling down the stairs in the basement. And I'm thinking in my head, crap, that's what the demonic thing, when it was running towards me on the stairs when I remote viewed, what it sounded like was somebody falling down the stairs. So,
which I just chalked it up to the fact that it's big and huge and it makes that kind of sound.
Yeah, and it hits against the wall. It specifically hits against the wall. It's just a gross feeling. Like, the best way I could describe it is like, think of a sinister. What is that? Like, what is that thing? The poppy thing? You know what I'm talking about? The big blue thing.
What?
I don't know. And it's somebody that watches like the whole character's name.
From what? What are you trying to guess?
No. Okay. It's Huggy, not Poppy.
What the fuck is Huggy?
Huggy. It's this thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So imagine that, but sinister. Not like as friendly.
It's like a blue evil Elmo.
Yeah, essentially. I don't know. That's what it kind of reminded me as. Like it was running, but it was huge. It was just the same kind of weird teeth though, and then like I don't know. But so anyways, so that happened, and then I was like, okay. So I started researching more, and I have this theory. So this is my theory. I don't think the Sallie that people are talking to is Sallie. Sallie. Because I don't understand why I'm seeing Sallie as looking totally different than the picture that they're showing of Sallie. I don't know if a psychic got that or somebody just said this is what she looks like or if there's actual evidence that's what she looks like, but that is not the Sallie that I'm seeing. And the Sallie, it's like the little girl Sallie is trapped there. I feel like I want to say I think she is, but she has these two darker things in front of her, so she will never. It's like she's never going to be able to cross. So I don't know, but I get that there is a woman there, the woman with no eyes, and I'm wondering if that is like the satanic woman that fell to her death, and that weird huggy looking creature thing.
Demon.
Yeah.
Well, you were saying something about nursery?
Yeah. Okay, so this is my theory. So if it's Sallie, so they're basically paying homage to Sallie in the nursery, right? With the toys and stuff. Why would Sallie be in the nursery? The second floor was the doctor's office. She would have died downstairs. So don't you think she would have been attached downstairs? And the doll, don't they put that at the front of the house? So why, if it was supposed to be for her, why would the doll be on the bottom, like away from the other toys? So there's this theory or this thing that I've kind of, again, this is my own opinion. This is not anything like factual or anything like that that's been proven. But and just from my experience in going to places and dealing with darker stuff, so normally when there's satanic stuff, and I don't know, I've never actually talked to a satanic person why I feel like this, but I've noticed that the term as above, so below, right, is not
alchemist thing.
Yeah, is accurate. I feel like the energy flows from above and below, right? It's like it pushes to create almost like a portal or almost like just like a constant energy pushing, right? My theory is the satanic woman did her offerings and her altars in the nursery and gave the actual thing, conjured it up, whatever, in the basement. So, I think where she made, like, she would bring it stuff. Like, she would bring it, I don't know, hair, food, weird things, like, in the basement. But then she would do, like, all of her, I don't know, like, more like prayer and stuff like that in the nursery. That's like where she would go. Now, who this woman is, I don't know. I don't know if she was a tenant. I don't know because there's no information. I tried looking back from past owners behind like the Pickman family, and then I couldn't find anything. So it's somebody used to live there that did that. And that's what makes me think that why it only was really bad from the 90s and on. Because if you think of somebody who wants to harness that energy, right, but use it for dark, would go to a place that has dark history, right, i.e. a place like that, because the girl died so bad.
Yeah.
And there's so much locked energy, and I'm sure she wasn't the only one that died in that house from the operating table, because the house was built in 1890, so our medical stuff wasn't.
Well, Dr. also might have been a very bad physician who probably killed more than his good fair share of people or kids.
Yeah. So that's what I think, that the person that did that harnessed the bad stuff. And maybe the little girl was trapped there to begin with. She was just stuck there. Maybe she was waiting for her mom. Maybe there's countless reasons why she could have been stuck there. And so that woman took it, and then the fact that so many people go there and talk to quote unquote Sallie, make offerings. And that's the thing that spooks me out, okay? Is that Debra was technically making offerings to it. It wants the and I think the reason why it hates men that is not the that's not the demonic thing that technically hates men. That's that woman with no fucking eyes that hates men. Like, when I tuned into her, when I first saw her, she had a total, I hate men. They're disgusting. They're horrible. Like, just, oh, they should all just be pushed to the side, like, all turned away. Like, that kind of mentality. So, that's just my theory. So,
I mean, it's not entirely far off, and what makes your theory at least somewhat plausible is the fact that you're looking in and with a psychic's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know this woman. I don't know. I don't like her. And I don't know, but that's what I think. And then two, us doing the episode and me.
You all right?
Yeah. Like I told you, somebody did not want me doing this freaking episode, especially with, I don't know if it's my theory or what, because I wasn't having problems talking about the Sallie House until I started talking about the theory. So, or when I first told you the theory, then my coughing started in. So I don't know what's going on. Plus,
it's another normal day.
Well, this is the odd thing too. As I was recording, I had GhostTube on because I don't know, that's what my guides told me to do, to keep GhostTube on. And there's some like coincidental stuff coming through. So I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm talking about the theory or I hit a chord with something. I don't know. Or maybe I shouldn't have been remote viewing and channeling in, which I agree. But it just happens. I can't help it. And like I said, like I've said before in past episodes, not every single episode or every single topic I have this happen with.
Anyway, so you don't have to keep
hacking along.
There you go. I think that's a good place to wrap it up in a sense. Funny enough, next episode's in August, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the month I was born.
And the month I was born.
Yes.
Sorry.
We're both born.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep thinking you're born like earlier. Well, technically you were. Anyway, so I thought we'd kick off the month essentially talking about something that I have hinted about or not give a full story on. And I feel like people need to know just to get a grasp of what I'm doing. When I talk about my ability. Now, I know we talked about abilities before and stuff like that, and mine especially. But a question that I asked of me is, the energy that I pull, where does it go? Right? And I have two different answers so far I've given over time. One, I absorbed and I filtered. Two, I pulled the energy and I put it in an object. But I never gave a good full description of what the object was. The object, in per se, is a ring. And the next week's episode, is all about that ring that I use to entrap spirits into creating a haunted object. Now,
dark spirits. Don't say
dark spirits.
Not anything light. Anything that has good intention, he does not pull.
I've never really pulled with my left hand.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever pulled with your left. You just alert other people around you that, hey, stay in church.
Yeah, hey, there's somebody there. But no, dark entities in the ring. I'm going to go a little more in depth about the ring and the ring per se, my theories around it, and the history of the ring that it's a replica of, which it is a replica of a very famous ring, if you know history very well. Anyway, so yeah, that's next week's episode. It's all about the ring. And I want to talk about the things I put into it so far, and yeah, just theories around it and stuff like that. So discussing it. So that's next week. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Making sure you're okay.
All right, good.
But as always, guys, you can catch our social media at Hidden in the Shadows Podcast on Instagram, Hidden in the Podcast 2 on TikTok, Hidden in the Shah 6 on Twitter. Our links to all our social media and all ways you listen to us at hiddentheshadowspodcast.com. Also, if you have any paranormal questions or paranormal situations that you need our help with, we also can message us through the Instagram of Hidden Shadows or our actual paranormal investigation page, Shadow Walker Paranormal, on Instagram as well. You message us through there. But as always, guys, We'll catch your weirdos in the next one.
Yep.
And on a cold, cold night, there was a bone-chilled fright, and there was nowhere to hide, 'cause this month